Welcome to Graham Kerr's Kitchen. It's really two programs in one. This is a series that appeals to your creative side. Food that is sumptuous stuff. How could that be? This is a program about people who want to eat healthy and reduce calories. Actually, it's about food with an aromatic quality that fills the nose. Oh, sure, but it's also about keeping my arteries clean by reducing fat. But it doesn't mean a thing if the food isn't rich and colorful. Maximize the flavor. Okay, but I must have healthy food that I can cook in minutes. I must minimize the risk. So welcome to Graham Kerr's Kitchen, where we get our heads together just for you. Hey, welcome back once again. Look, this time I've got something to do with gravies. Now, do you like gravies? Good roast. And then you pick up that lovely grease in the bottom of the pan, am I right? And then from there you put flour into the top of it, and guess what? The flour mixes with the fat, and the lovely flooding of that over the top. Well, we're going to spoil all of that. Actually, I hope not. If you've got something like a chicken, shall we say, that's a chicken with a smile, and there it is, and it's dripping. It drips fat as that goes, and it lies in the bottom of the pan, but it also drips meat juices, the actual juices from it as well. And so the big secret about this is how to make a gravy in some other way other than by adding flour into the top and congealing the whole thing together. When that happens, you simply can't get the fat out. And so today what I'd like to show you is just an ordinary roast chicken. Well, a great roast chicken. And with that, marvelous vegetables, whole meal, all in one, very simple to do, and with a great gravy made from it. And then as a springboard idea, take roast lamb with apple and orange. Oh, well, I'll tell you about that later. It's a great dish. Come, let's go. Okay, now, here is an interesting way of cooking this, because you see, about the time that you're about 9 minutes away, I'll try and remember to tell you, of actually serving the dish in just a few minutes' time, you would put on the Brussels sprouts. Now, these are Brussels sprouts cut in half, show you how to fix that, and carrots cut in diagonals. So you see the carrot went this way, and they're cut diagonally. Gives a nice texture to the carrot and rather an intriguing looking shape for a change. Right? So spread that all the way around, no seasoning necessary, in a steamer which is sort of set up on the top of vigorously boiling water. Put a lid on it, and it takes 9 minutes from that point in time. I hope you're into Brussels sprouts. If you've never tried them, they're really neat. What you do with them is you simply make a cut, if you're going to cook them whole, make a cut through the stalk end, and that actually cooks the stalk end quicker. Sorry about that, Bob. And what happens is that the water goes in and cooks that hard core quicker so that the outside can be beautifully crisp and well done. But another way of doing that when you're steaming them is to actually cut it right through, as I've done with all of these. That reduces cooking time from about 12 minutes down to 9, which is really good, gets it going. So, vegetables done. Here's the chicken. As always with chicken, please a separate chopping board other than the one that you're going to cook everything else with. This is just to protect you and I from salmonella, and it's you don't have to, it's not a big thing. It's been got pretty well under control, but it is around, and we can take some safe precautions, and that's just some of them. Just look after yourself. All right, piece of string about this long. I don't know how long that is, kind of however long that is. About 1.5 yards long. And just wrap it round the legs. Now, we didn't find out until the very last moment that this chicken has been through rather more wars than the average chicken is. In other words, it has lost one of its wings. Now, what you do, I just want you to know that this is reality television. What you normally do is you place that cord then around that other wing, all right? And you, poor fella, Do you know what I wanted to do? I wouldn't do this to anybody else but you, I promise you, and it's only because I think I've known you for some time, and if I've just actually started to know you, forgive the intrusion into our relationship this way. But I was going to ring up the chicken company and say, I got a chicken the other day with only one wing, so do you think you could send me one? On second thoughts, don't send it to me, just give me a wing. And I thought, that was hilarious. I stamped my left foot, which is always a sign of the fact that I think it's funny. And then I decided not to do that. Okay, we've got the trivet. This is a trivet, and it's a non-stick trivet, so then the chicken is placed on top of the non-stick. It's a very simple way of trussing a chicken. And then put that into the oven. It's set at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 180 degrees centigrade, all right? And just put on like that. Now, when it's cooked, you see, about 25 minutes per pound, 20 to 25 minutes per pound, then it drops down into the lower one. And in here, I've got the chicken, which is just about done. Now, this one is really tremendous good television again, because this is up and running. This is just the way it should be. And here I've got a potato on the rung. Do you see that? Now, what I would do always in this case is to put the chicken in the top and put potatoes in the rung above it. They cook in just about the same period of time. Right. So out it comes, and this is an exciting idea. Okay. Since I had the chicken, all right, on here, now you can take the chicken off. And don't forget soap and running, thank you, and hot running water over the top of it with everything that you've used. If you've used this, wash your hands. All right, thank you. You're going to make the real thing out of it. Wash your hands carefully after using poultry, or meat, actually. It isn't just poultry that has salmonella, it's all kinds of meat. So it's just a safety precaution. All right, now, take the potato and now cut it through. Now, that's had exactly the right amount of time, so you can see that looks great. Now, put that on one side and show what I do with that in a moment. Then take the chicken off the trivet. And I prefer this trivet because it really washes up quickly and easily. The stainless steel one, I did a roast this weekend for Trina, and it was a mess, and she got me to clean it up. So now it's really into my head. Use ones that are easy to wash up. Okay, press that back. That is the juice which is in here. Take chicken stock, which I make out of, obviously, the carcass. You know, you roast a carcass like this. You've got it there for it. And let that shovel around in there. And take this remarkable piece of equipment. It's a brilliant design. I wish I'd done it myself, but I didn't. Just lodge the juices in the bottom of the pan and then pour it through a strainer into the bottom there. Okay. Now, you'll watch it. As you just watch it there, just look at it. What's happening is that the fat is rising to the surface. You see that? Because fat always comes to the surface, and it's the fat we want to get off and make that distinction. So there is the small pan that I'd like to use. Now watch this. Because the spout, I don't know which camera to use. I've got cameras here, by the way, if you didn't know that. Okay, how's that? Is that all right? Okay, so now, you see, as that's poured through, the fat still stays horizontal to the ground. So that's going all the way through, all the way down, until you just stop when you get to the fat. Whoops! Like so. Get that onto the heat, and get that up to a high heat. Now, this isn't wasted. Well, not much is used. You just simply take a little of that fat from the chicken and brush it on top of the potato. Now, it isn't a lot, but it's enough to make that potato look like a genuine, magnificent roasted potato when it comes out. Because I slip that under a broiler, you see, on a rack like this, and that's what they look like when they come out underneath the broiler. All right? Beautifully brown and golden. Great. So this is the chicken, And it's a simple matter then, with this particular trussing device, to take off and carve just what you like. And somewhere around here, I have my large carving knife. And just simply break the chicken back here and open it up. The chicken should always be perfectly cooked. And the best way to test that is with a little meat thermometer, where you jab that into the thickest part of the thigh. It should be about 165 degrees Fahrenheit. I can't wait here forever for it to come there. I happen to know that's just right. So then I would take off the outside skin. And you're going to say, Graham, don't do that. It's so delicious. And I know it's delicious, but in this particular case, we need it off because there is saturated fat in the skin. Now, that's what that looks like. Now, you see this is heating up here. This is the juice that we've actually got from the bottom of the pan. This is a Chardonnay grape juice, and it, it's without alcohol in it. It's my standard thing. And it's just mixed up with a little arrowroot, about a tablespoonful of arrowroot, 2 tablespoonsful of the other mixture. And then take it from the heat, always, and stir it right in. Now, because it's arrowroot, it instantly changes color and instantly thickens to the degree that I want it to go. So that's just bang on. This is the point where all the vegetables and everything is perfect. So you've got a little broiled potato there, and you can actually get into this and get those. Now, I come from a country, from Britain, where sometimes we are accused of overcooking vegetables. Not any more, by the way, than the French do. But nowadays, it is so magnificent to be able to get a medley out of a steamer of vegetables that look like that. Okay? This is thickened now, so you can take that gravy and then pour that into, well, pour it straight, of course, straight on top of the chicken, just like so. And a little bit of parsley on the top, and it looks great. See? Without the fat. All right? Now, how about the numbers? Come through, let's have a look. Well, there we are. Now, the numbers on this one are kind of interesting because, you see, we've actually worked on this to produce the fat came to the top, which allowed us to extract from that the pure meat juices without the fat. So we've got that, and we're able to thicken that with just a little of the arrowroot, which gives us a nice, clear, beautiful glaze. Now, the numbers that actually come from that process are like these. First of all, we got a 409, so we've actually cut that down by about 100. 9 in terms of fat, 3 in saturated fat, which means that 21% of that calories come from fat, which is pretty good. 103 in cholesterol, sodium is down to 160, and then finally fibers at the same, about 6. So all the way, as far as food is concerned, it's a wonderful thing, but look at how tender that chicken is cooked that way, and the sauce over the top of it. Oh, God. Oh, it's nice. Just that little touch of the Chardonnay there. Just try and get a bottle just to see what it's like. To be stirred into that gravy without all of that fat. It really is delicious. Try it. Now, what we're trying to do here is that's the technique. Now we've got a springboard, into the next dish. So don't forget, always springboard. Now, the springboard, as far as I'm concerned, this time is really that leg of lamb with the apple and the orange juice, with a very unique idea with a hypodermic syringe. Yeah, it's true. Come along, I'll show you. Good. All right. Well, now the first thing you need for this is just 2 lots of apple and orange juice. Well, actually, 1 lot of each. Well, you know what I mean. Now, in this case, you've got 6 ounces, so it's just about 2/3 of a cup, in fact, exactly 2/3 of a cup of canned apple juice and canned orange juice. I know that's strange, because I'm always into things being fresh, but in this case, it's done this way for a reason, because of their concentrated flavors. Now, I'm going to pour just 3... Have you ever seen those wonderful French cartoons, you know, where they're pouring coffee, sort of café au lait, like this? And there was this wonderful cartoon by Fougas, with Fougas and McCulloch, where the fellow's sort of standing on his head and balancing on one foot and pouring all this huge crowd. It doesn't matter anyway. It just happened to be a favorite of mine. So then you put that on to boil, and it boils and it reduces down until it's about 2/3 of the way down. So you've only got 2 ounces left, all right, 1/4 of a cup. Now, I'm going to put the rest of that into this pot and just heat that up, because I need that in a little while later on for the gravy. All right, that can go over there in case I think it's useful for something. And then here is the one that I actually reduced down. Now, for this, you'll need what is called a flavor injector. This is not, contrary to what you might think it is, a hypodermic syringe. It is a flavor injector, and you want cool. And this has got hot somehow, but that's okay. I can stand it. And just, it has a very blunt needle. So it couldn't possibly be used for anything else other than, well, for any pharmaceutical purpose. And so now you get your leg of lamb here, and this is about a 3.5 pound New Zealand leg of lamb, and just dive in and depress the plunger, press down on it. You'll see it comes out a little bit, but not all of it comes out. And it is actually infiltrating the muscle with that concentrated, that concentrated orange and apple juice, which is a fabulous flavor. You're going to get it in the gravy, in the pan gravy, but at the same time, this is just a different way of introducing into the meat itself an unusual flavor, all right? So keep on jabbing it all the way around. Do it as many times as you possibly can in as many different places as possible, and you'll find it's a flavorsome, very interesting way of doing it. You can buy those in, various stores that are around the country. Just ask for a flavor injector. Okay, so there it is, and now that's ready to go onto a trivet, and the trivet is just one of these little things. It's kind of like a, baseball. And it's actually a non-stick material, so you don't have to worry about the washing of it up, just rinse it. And then into the oven, which is set at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Just slip it into the middle there. And that's actually cooked for about 30 minutes a pound. And at the same time, you remember how we did with the baked potatoes? Well, these are yams. Now, because it takes about 90 minutes, to reach that stage in which it's just about ready, about 180 degrees Fahrenheit inside, internal temperature. So you take about halfway through the cooking time, so you've gone about 40 minutes, and then you just pop those in, because they take about 40 minutes to actually cook. Okay, so then, miraculously, down in the bottom, here's the one that's done. And I took the yams out this time and did something a little different with them. I took them out and then split them and scooped them out, and then just popped them over here and put them into kind of like a bain-marie, just into hot water like this, just sort of set that down, whip them up ready, and they're all ready to go. So I've got some water on the go here, and just about the time that you bring the meat out of the oven, it's a good idea to get some one of these sort of strainer. This isn't a strainer, it's a steamer, and converted hubcap actually. And this is Swiss chard, and the Swiss chard has a long green leaf with this red vein to it, and it's just delicious, but only needs about 4 minutes of steaming time. So get it steaming hot, pop it in there, and you've just got 4 minutes to go. Just build the heat up underneath it a bit. Okay, now get the leg of lamb out of the way. Whoops. Boy, come on, my fella. It's just marvelous. Doesn't that look great? And then you can place this in my washing up routine at the end of the program. If we've been together, you know how that happens. Now, about halfway through in this process, I actually got a cup of water and poured it in. I just need just a little bit more there. This is the apple and orange juice, all right, just heat it up. And poured it in to save those meat juices from getting too caramelized. Because, you see, you've got the apple and orange juice squeezing out of the leg down into the bottom of the pan. And so it really does crust up a bit. Okay, so this is the technique. Remember, just a little strainer on top of one of these fat things. And this is where you do need a few pieces of equipment. If you're going to actually have a sort of fat-free routine, you need to know how to do it, and you need to have little bits and pieces of equipment. They're not expensive. And just pop that in there. Cleans up at a trice. And there is the juice. Now, what we do is take a small saucepan here and pour that. Remember what happens here? This is poured until the fat shows up at the top. See how dark it is? The darkness of that sauce comes, of course, from the caramelizing of the orange and the apple juice in that pan. Okay, bring it back here, and we'll get that heated up. I never can remember which one of these things does what, but I guess it's that one. I'll heat them both up just in case. All right. Over here, then, whilst that is just heating, I have the leg of lamb. Now, a leg of lamb, if you look at it, has got a little plump side here, and you just shave that off. It's quite delicious, that side. Of course, wouldn't I just do that? So you shave it off the other side, actually. That's much too plump. And then roll it up here, like so, and then carve down into it. So you carve down into thin slices, well, not too thin slices, because I think lamb should have a nice, fairly thick slice. Then you turn the blade of the knife. And what happens is you can just pull out these perfectly shaped little pieces to spread out on the plate. And it's just a nice, delicate appearance. So, pull that up. 2 slices will give you about 3.5 to 4 ounces with just a little bit of that fat on the outside, just for fun. This is heating up brilliantly at the present moment, so all I need to have to do now is for this gravy, remember the technique, and the technique is everything, just put in the 2 tablespoons full of the dealkalized wine, just gives it that little bit of touch of wine in with the citrus as well. Or you could use apple juice, that would be fine. And just turn that around then until it's completely dissolved. This is up to the boil. Always take it off the heat, otherwise you make dumplings, and then stir that in. Just totally, perfectly made into that sauce. Now, we've got everything ready. Wonderful. I've got some of this. This chard, when it comes straight out, you see that's just about 3.5 to 4 minutes, and it's perfect. The nice spoonful of that whipped yams, a little bit of lemon juice, and lots of seeds. I'll tell you one thing you could call it, it's pine nuts. Pine nut makes it all exotic. Now, there it is. That's perfectly done now. Look at that. Based over the top. What a sauce. Oh, and the whole thing, marvelous. Come through. All right, let's look at a classic. Now, a classic here, this is, you see the colors there, aroma, color, and texture, and the classic dish with the kind of yogurt look to it, you know, is fine. But just look what you actually wind up having in terms of numbers. You've got 1,431 calories for this one here. And we've been able to get this down by this judicious use of cleaning the pan of 718, all right? So from 91 grams of fat comes down to 25. And this is saturated fat in the previous one, 41. That's down to 9, which means altogether that I can just get on the line for healthy people at about 30% of calories from fat. So 243 in terms of cholesterol. Sodium's up just a little bit. I can never understand why about that. And I've got a bit more fiber, which just compensates beautifully. All right, must have a little nosh at this, because this is one of my favorites. I really like New Zealand lamb, But then in addition to this, I love sweet potatoes. And the chard as well with it. I mean, it's hard to imagine a better dish than this one. God, the flavors are so wonderful. The orange and everything is good. Forgive me if I just spare a little more time. Thanks for being with me. God bless you. See you next time.